Giancana started as a driver and enforcer for Al Capone in the 20s.
Who was Sam Giancana, the mob boss who shocked the White House? In the 1950s, Salvatore Sam Giancana became the leader of the powerful Chicago-based branch of the American mob called The Outfit, that was created by Al Capone. At the center of conspiracies to assassinate President John F. Kennedy, Marilyn Monroe was the mistress of Giancana. He started as Capone's driver. Born on June 15, 1908 in Chicago, Illinois, Giancana was never afraid to use violence for profit. He was a member of the notorious violent youth gang, the 42 Gang or the 42s. He served as a getaway driver and muscle. He was first arrested at the age of 17 for the auto theft, and police believe he was responsible for at least 3 murders by the time he was 20, but he was tried for any of those. In 1926, Giancana was arrested and charged with murder, but convincingly for the prosecution, a key witness died violently and the charges were dropped. He served jail or prison time for several offenses, including operating in illegal steal, car theft and burglary. Several biographies say he was arrested more than 70 times for various offenses. By the end of the 1930s, Giancana was graduated out of the 42s into the outfit. In 1957, the outfit's topman Tony Joe Petros Accardo stepped aside and annoyed Giancana, who had successfully consolidated illegal lottery records in Chicago through the tactic of murdering recreant rivals as his successor. Giancana was the outfit representative to the National Summit of Mob Bosses, held in Appalachian, New York in that same year. Like Accardo, who had permanent second residence in Palm Springs, Giancana frequently spent time away from Chicago and invested in Las Vegas as well as offshore casinos in Iran, the Caribbean and Great Britain. Following the death of his wife, Angeline, in 1954, Giancana was linked to a series of attractive women, including the singer Phyllis McGuire and a callgirl named Judith Exner, a woman who allegedly would share with the future US President John F. Kennedy. It was Giancana's involvement with some might well say obsession with politics that has provoked sustained interest in the legacy. Giancana knew Joseph Kennedy, the former ambassador to Great Britain and the father of political dynasty that included his son John F. Kennedy, the war hero, senator and finally president. Joseph Kennedy, who was involved with bootlegging operation during the Prohibition, asked Giancana for help in rounding up votes for his son in the 1960s presidential campaign. Illinois was critically important in the 1960 campaign, and Giancana's ability to deliver votes in Chicago may well have clinched to President John F. Kennedy, but one of President Kennedy's first steps when he took office was to appoint his brother Robert Kennedy Attorney General, and one of Robert's priorities was to going after the mob. This not please mob leaders, especially Giancana. About the same time as the Attorney General campaigned to expose the mob, Giancana and other mob bosses, Santo Traficante Jr., were contacted by the CIA in a complex plot to assassinate Cuban leader Fidel Castro, who had kicked the mob out of Cuba after his 1959 revolution. Then on November 22, 1963, President Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas. The conclusion of the Warren Commission created by President Lyndon Johnson to investigate the assassination was the leftist owner Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in the shooting the president, but theories persist that the mob was somehow involved. Many of them linked Giancana to the conspiracy, ostensibly because of his anger over Attorney General Robert Kennedy's campaign against organized crime. However, very little hard evidence has been presented to show mob-led conspiracy to kill Kennedy. In 1965, Giancana was jailed for refusing to testify before a Senate Committee on Organized Crime, and in 1967 the National Mob Syndicate, tired of Giancana's presence in the daily newspapers, took away his control of the outfit. Giancana moved to Mexico but returned in 1974 to testify before another federal commission, this one examining the CIA's efforts to kill Castro. While the reasoning is unclear, what happened to the following year is not. Giancana, back in his Oak Park family home, had allowed someone he knew into his house. He was cooking his favorite meal of sausages when he was shot 6 times in the head. The first from behind among the leading candidates as Giancana assassin was a young outfit member named Tony Spilotro.